Hey everyone, sort of put together a short video, try and run through some of the ins and outs of riding an RGT, how to get pacing okay. So here's the normal screen we see, people that are riding, top left, power, cadence, heart rate, watts per kilo being put out, and a few more things will pop out when we're going. Top right, speed we're doing, the gradient of the road we're on, how long we've been riding for. Very top, training stress score, so if you're keeping an idea, record of how much work you have to do for a session. Distance covered, distance to go, and the amount we've climbed. And bottom right is the countdown timer before the event starts. As you can see, it's looking swift, you can pedal in the pens till the timer hits 0. What we're going to try and show a bit is how to sit in the draft, not to shoot forward or shoot off the back too much. Just keep things fairly even and make the most of the metrics they show to learn how much effort you need to put in to stay in the draft. Starting 1 minute. I've got half a dozen bots which, now they're all here, just a couple are a bit late getting here. I've got them similar-ish power. Well, Timothy's down a bit to the rest of them. But hopefully we sort of get a little bit of a group happening. Have a couple that'll split off. There's other things we can talk about too. One thing you'll learn with RGT, the drafting physics are so good that going in and out of a corner, even if you've got all your bots at the exact same power output and the exact same weight, you still get ones that'll get dropped because they'll lose the draft for a little bit and then they just can't get back in, which is what we as real people want to try and avoid. Countdown's on, so they're starting about 3, so I don't need to go much above 3 for the start to be with them. Could even get away with starting a bit less and jump straight into a draft and just work with them. Now, with the people's names, those colours underneath, that represents the effort they're putting in according to their FTP. So when someone's in red, that means that they're not going to be holding that for a very long time. So they're green, that's kind of like a tempo, something to keep up for hours. The 2 blues, that's reasonably cruisy. Yellow, that's about your sweet spot. And then there's 2 levels of red. There's like a orangey red, which means you're anaerobic but not over your limit. So if you're doing a bunch race and things, or someone makes an attack, even just with their names and seeing the lines, that can be a giveaway on what's happening. Alright, now the dynamics having, so I'm sending a slipstream showing me saving 100 watts. I'm not trying, so I had too much momentum and rolled through too easy. So I'm still getting some draft effect, just not full. Now I'm sitting behind Llewellyn, was Coleman. The smart trainer on the hill of automatically reacted to that. It started pushing fraction too much power. So we're going to get to the straight. Alright, now sitting in, saving plenty. So much that I don't even really have to pedal here on the downhill. Now, the bottom of that box on the top left is 2 lots of numbers. On the left is the minimum wattage I need to do to stay in the draft. Now what you'll pick up on that when you see when I go just under it, it'll say drifting back. Means I'm not doing enough to hold it, so minimum I have to do there is 170, 180. Maximum I have to do to like get to the front or get back on is 380. If I go over that, I'll just shoot straight through them. Now, get in there, do less, see, drift back. That means if I hold that for too long, they'll get away from me. thing to watch. So this bunch here on the flat is sitting on about 37, 38 k's an hour. Downhill it's picking up a bit. Do just enough. Now RGT has what feels like sticky draft, but it's not. What it has is auto braking. So if you come up behind a rider with not too much speed differential or power output differential, it'll feather your brake a bit and you'll just sit on the wheel. You won't overshoot. So all you got to do is anticipate if you're coming up behind them. Like if you push to get back into a group, ease off a bit before you get there. Try and get similar, then you'll just slot in on them. See there, he's pulled across. So he was at Wilma, it was not going quite hard enough to what I was. So it's pulled in behind Hardy, it's doing similar to what I was doing. Anytime you're putting in too much effort, when you're sitting right behind someone, your rider will pull out ready to go. That's one of the giveaways even without looking up at the screen. So here, so you just got to be careful not to do a panic. Something else we can talk about is in the corners. RGT has a speed limit. Like in real life, you can only do a corner at a certain effort. So if you pedal hard into a corner that has auto braking, you'll actually exit that corner much slower. So it'll do late braking and hard braking, and you'll lose speed. Perfect way to execute a corner on RGT that has auto braking. Back off the power before it, cruise into it, and kick on the power as you get to the apex. Because we have a bit of lag with our trainers, we need to sort of learn how to anticipate that and sort of start going a bit earlier. But there, and you'll actually hold good momentum, and you can use that like in a bunch race to launch a sprint. Now coming through like we're doing 46 through the dip, I'll work, I've done a panic, go on the front, go, oh no, I'm off the front. They're out of view. First thing you automatically will do, get back off, go, oh, I've got to wait for them. They're 15 metres behind me, need to let them catch. Now I'll slow down 33, 32, 31, and we know they're going to be doing more than that. Now they're going to catch me quickly and go zooming past. That's when you go, oh no, I'm off the back again. Better do an effort, get back on. All the gap's still there. Need to get back on. And this is like pulling out. Boom, straight through them. And doing it all over again. And using loads and loads and loads of energy. The goal for the end of an event is for your VI index to be as close to 1 as you can get it. Something you can talk about with your coaches and the other riders as to what that means and how to achieve it. But what I need is just sit in here, try and get that auto braking just right. Now the minimum watts I have to do there, like it's moving a bit as we corner and things, but you know, about the 100, 140. Now our power number there, see it flashes red, that means I'm doing more than I have to. But don't get completely obsessed with that. Look at the range of what you have to do when you're sitting in the draft. So if it's between 100 and 200, try and do just over 100. It'll flash red a bit and sometimes go white. But just avoid being at the top end of that power number. You don't need to do that. That'll put you right at the front or off the front. See now, at 8 metres, savings has dropped a bit. As you close it down, it'll come back up. And so, the less metres between you and the rider in front, obviously the better the draft effect, and the more you'll save. But much easier to get the slingshot effect and go flying through. If you've got the smart trainer, you'll get loads of feedback when you don't need to pedal as much. So just sit in there, you just watch other riders. So being a heavy rider, I pushed into them easy but backed off enough that it didn't fly through, used the auto braking and try and sit in there. Now the pacing obviously can go both ways. I can sit on the front, do a bit above what they're doing, and I'll actually pull the pack along faster. Now a good way to practice drafting is obviously sitting in, even just joining a real road circuit and jumping in behind the real life bots that are there and everything and reacting to their changes in pace and just trying to stay with them. But also if you've got a premium account, or you can probably set up events. You set up an event with just one bot, set them at a tempo, if say sitting at 3.5 is a good workout for you but not killing you. Set that bot at somewhere around that for a lap of a circuit. Pick say Borogo Springs that doesn't have any braking influence corners. Cruise around and try and get the bot to have the best lap time possible. So just do it over and over. Keep repeating the event. So in other words, sit in front of them just enough that they're like very close to your wheel, get maximum draft off you, and make them finish as fast as possible. That'll help you with feathering your effort, getting it just right, and trying not to do the accordion effect backwards and forwards. Now to think about it, you go, oh yeah, that's pretty easy. Obviously in theory during a race, you're more sort of aggressive. Everyone talks about in this, if you lose the draft off the back, you know, that's it, it's very hard work to get back, which it is, because it's so much real life. Like I'm saving heaps here, you know, 400 watts less I have to do than to do that pace on my own. But with this also, if you do get dropped, do a good kick, get your speed back up. Try and remember what roughly was the pace that your group's sort of generally singing on the flat, and you need to obviously get up to a bit above that. Putting the short kick, accelerate up the speed, start closing that gap, get those numbers coming back down, but then back off before you've hit them, because you hit the speed super easy. As soon as you hit the draft, you'll actually, if anything, accelerate speed a bit more and go through. So even that, I overdid it, but didn't panic the other way. Just ease the power back, don't jump off it, just let them roll through and then just go smoothly with them. So your power, use it. Our power output's analog. We can adjust it in small increments. It's not digital, it's not on off. So don't do max power, no power, max power, because you just be up and down. You'll burn all your matches in no time, that'll be it. And I think that's most of the pointers. Any questions, feel free to fire them through. See what we can do to help. There's a few of us that know a little bit about RGT. The power history, that shows what I've been doing. The red bits is where I did more power than I needed to, which would be either for staying in the group or at a corner. So that one there, it flashed. I didn't have to do that much power into the corner, so I could ease coming into it, especially in the draft effect, and put it out. See, I had a little micro rest there, did not affect my drafting at all. So there's so much more to this game than just the pure watts. You've got to be switched on, watch what's going on, and stay attentive. Alright, thank you.